Hello, welcome to another video on the Scouring Early Access. Today's match is going to be a 5-player free-for-all match between me, the Perfect Gamer, and other players Attila, Dinchi Code, Indiana Jones, and Kubuch. So over here we did somewhat get spawn spread out, you could say. But anyways, I spawn here as a red human player, and instead of even trying to win, I kind of decided to troll, just do a fast dwarf build, just 5 workers making a smithy, and then 3 making a dwarven tavern, so I can have some kind of dwarf production. And next to me, the black orc player, Attila. Looks like he made a fast barracks. He's going to be making all the warriors. He's getting a fast farm. So he's going to have all the warriors. But of course, I'm going for dwarves. So I'm not going to really have enough wood for sawmill. So that's a little trade-off you get when you do a dwarf build. Anyways, on the left side, the purple human player, Kubuch. Interestingly, he made a smithy into a fast cannon. So a really interesting build order. It's probably going to be doing a dwarven tower, I would assume, because he made a smithy. I guess that is to be seen. Next to him, the orange player, Dinchi Code, is playing as humans. I guess he is someone doing a similar build to the black player. Just making all the swordsmen. But I guess he does have a sawmill, unlike the black player who skipped making a sawmill. And on top here, the blue orc player, Indiana Jones. Looks like he also did a similar build. Or I guess his own build. To see he has a barracks and a forge. So pretty much every player did his own build order. Got a fast cannon. I guess to help him in case someone rushes his base. But of course, starting to kill some wolves, very useful in the first minutes of the game. Get some extra gold, some extra levels. Which is what I'm doing here as well, by starting to level up my dwarves. And orange here, killing some wolves. Looks like purple made a guard tower. So this is somewhat of a funny build order. Single cannon defending him. He's going fast here too. Maybe to get stables. I'm not really sure what you would get at this point. Got another cannon. Black still making warriors. Now he's gonna make a sawmill. It's probably running out of wood. He has very little. Still making dwarves here. And of course, dwarves do level up extremely quickly in their melee mode. Especially when archers got nerfed a little bit. Now they don't actually get XP by shooting an enemy, even if it misses. Now they don't get that XP anymore. They have to actually damage an enemy unit, which I guess is quite a significant nerf. But I guess it does make more sense, I would say. And over here in blue, it's killing more wolves. Killed some goblins. It's getting another cannon. And of course it is turned on for goblin waves. So of course people want to be defensive in their base. During the first night, at least. Over here, purple made a barracks. Made a cannon. Starting some archers. So that's a little interesting. Black player transferred to archer production. Gonna be good, I guess. to support your warriors. And of course to fight the goblins at this time. But I had all the dwarves, so I don't really have any issues with these goblins. They just kind of fed me a lot of XP. And over here, blue. Also cleaned up his wave with the help of the worker bow upgrade. And over here, orange. Also probably cleared his wave. Looks like purple only had a few goblins attacking him. Probably because orange kind of shot purple players, goblins, and let him into his base, so that's probably what happened. So over here I started a tier 2 to try and get the dwarf upgrade in the smithy, which of course you need a tier 2 for, which allows them to do a little bit more damage, which can be quite effective. But of course I did forget to mention that dwarves have been nerfed. You can see they're extremely fat now. And I think they're moving like maybe 0.25% or 50% slower than they did before. So now even warriors and archers are going to be able to catch up to them. It's going to be pretty much impossible to run away with your dwarves. Which is a little interesting, I guess. Balance change, but it just makes it very annoying to use dwarves, because they're going to take forever to actually get back to your base or a certain position to defend it because of how slow they are. But anyways, over here, just clearing my corner. The black player is also clearing his corner, getting on this gold, and of course making some bases. He's got a forge, tier 2. He's probably gonna have a shield ability. Purple has a few cannons, a few archers, making even more cannons. Orange, already getting a second base. Has all the archers. Still farming some wolves. Blue player is the first player to actually capture an outpost. Only now he's getting a tier 2. There's a full barracks of cannons. But of course, these are pretty effective at around this range. But anything closer, all the cannons in the back are going to have a bit of an issue actually firing. So over here, make a sawmill finally, because I was kind of struggling with wood, and you're gonna need it to actually have enough wood for multiple buildings in the future. Started killing this abandoned camp. And I guess exploring in this direction. Black player killing more wolves. Cleared this bandit camp. So he's potentially going to be finding a purple here. Bias, it is somewhat peaceful somehow with orange and purple for now. Even are very close neighbors. And over here, we found the blue player here. Killed a few workers, lost a dwarf, and then decided to run away. Because there's not much to catch here. Anyways, the blue player has a good amount of warriors, a few archers, a good amount of cannons. It's getting a second base. It's still on tier 2. I am getting a second dwarven tower, so I can pump out even more dwarves. Gotta be getting a few potions on them. And I have 2 expansions. Black player has a tier 2. getting artillery, starting some cannon production. It's a good mix of archers and warriors. It's getting another forge, so double forge. It's probably thinking of spamming all the cannons. Rare barracks, single expansion. It's a relatively mixed army composition. Now we're here purple. It's getting an expansion. It's quite a lot of cannons. Around 6. And some archers, so it's more being defensive. Orange player already going for a tier 3 at minute 10. There's a good handful of archers. And very few swordsmen. So he's probably trying to get some cavaliers out. Of course, we can see here. Probably getting a church. And then getting a cure ability. Or maybe he wants to start fast apprentice production. Anyways, over here, started making barracks. Making some dwarves. Pretty much maxed out on workers. So I do start my tier 3 as well. Have some dwarves. Roughly 5 level 3s. And of course, dwarves are the best unit. That is the most survivable unit in the game. Because they do get extra armor on tier 2. Or level 2 and level 3. I think level 2 has 0.1 armor, or basically 10%. And then level 3 dwarves have 20% armor. So they're going to take quite a while to die. Which is very, I guess, effective. Dwarves can be, but mostly when they're level 2 or level 3. They're very vulnerable when they're level 1. On the bottom we can see black is already getting 2 more bases here, so 4 total bases. I have 3 total. Blue has 2 total bases. All the warriors, all the cannons. Orange, I'm already getting a 3rd total base. I'm getting some cavaliers. Even getting a worker upgrade, which can be useful, but it only gives you 200 extra supply if you have maximum amount of workers. But the upgrade's more useful to allow you to make workers a lot faster. You can see orange starting to make some dwarves himself, getting his stables, so probably wants to get some cavaliers as well. In the meantime, I went in the middle to kill all the trolls, though I did expect to see other people already kill them, but somehow I managed to snatch all these 4 trolls. So of course, killing them in melee mode allows you to get an extra 100 gold. And over here, I need 4 total barracks, because I don't really need that many dwarves. These cavaliers are a little more tanky, a little bit more useful. So that's why I just stopped my dwarf production and just started my huge cavalier production. Getting cure ability, so they're potentially going to be pretty powerful. And I am starting my apprentice production, but I only have 1 castle for now. In the meantime, orange has a tier 3, but he's not making apprentices just yet. Just making a big army of cavaliers. And he still has no church now. Seeing blue. Making some munchers. Getting another tier 2 instead of a tier 3. The goblins begin spawning. And of course, everyone was very passive and in their base. So it's not going to be much of an issue to deal with the goblin wave on the second night. I even started making a base in the middle. So I don't really see anyone here, so might as well send my extra workers to get the gold in the middle. So this wave died. I killed my wave. Orange killed his wave. And I guess purple didn't really have much of an issue. And here we can see Black Bear has quite a huge amount of cannons. We're on 9 here. Which can be very devastating with their artillery ability. See, Black has a lot of archers as well. And now he's starting his big muncher production. And I guess he did start his tier 3 maybe a minute ago, 30 seconds ago. So he is thinking of getting the rage ability eventually. Over here, I guess purple's wave actually started to spawn right now. And it looks like he has a very small army, so he might actually struggle with this wave a little bit. But I guess thanks to his cannons, he does eventually clean up this goblin wave. In the meantime, I did have quite a lot of gold, I guess. My first base was running out, so I decided to make a lot of single farmer farms. This way I could have more supply overall. And I could send most of my workers to actually mine gold or wood instead of making them sit at a farm. And here, making my cavaliers for all the potions. So I was thinking of attacking, I guess, somewhat shortly. Mining in the middle. A lot of warriors. Good amount of munchers. A lot of archers. Blue almost has a tier 3. So a lot of cannons. Orange, I guess, is also getting impatient. It's a huge army of cavaliers. A lot of archers. And a good handful of cannons. And over here you can see purple is getting another smithy. And he is also getting a tier 3. But he has a very small army. Over here you can see there's a huge amount of cannons here. A good amount of munchers, warriors. And Black did get the altar, so you will eventually get the rage, I assume. Over here, I'm still making a lot of cavaliers. And of course, getting a handful of apprentices. Oh, and I guess over here, I also made a second castle, so I can have a double apprentice production. So I can get a few more of them out here on the map. Now over here we can actually see the first violence against other players. You can see orange begins attacking the blue player. But here, I also begin attacking the blue player. Which is a bit of a coincidence, but I actually didn't know that Blue is being under attack. There's more to try. Kill him here to secure this potential expansion. It's going this direction. It's going to be a bit of a harder decision. Anyways, you can see here, Blue is kind of crumbling here under the might of the orange army. And I'm here, of course, to ruin his day. So I begin climbing here, my dwarves, killing both players here. But of course, in the meantime, I did get backstabbed here by the black player. So he's going to be destroying me here if I don't come back here in time. So instead of finishing blue, orange retreats. Then I have to retreat to actually save my base before it's too late. We begin attacking the black player's army. Here's a lot of cannons. So I'm gonna have to get on top of them with my cavaliers. Here you can see all my 5 apprentices get evaporated. Now my castle falls, so now we have 1 castle. And now I actually managed to get on top of the cannons, so they will eventually get destroyed. But of course not before killing roughly half of my whole army. So you can see I have very few cavaliers. We have 2 barracks, 2 taverns. So the most I have here is just a good amount of level 3 dwarfs, a handful of apprentices, some cavaliers, so I get crippled a little bit. In the meantime, orange starts attacking the purple player here. But of course, purple only has dwarves here, no apprentices of his own. So his army eventually gets cut down. So it does look like purple is gonna be die here eventually. But of course, these cannons are potentially gonna be killing a few cavaliers. In the meantime, I decided to push against the black player because I did just kill his whole army that was attacking me here. And he didn't really have much here. Or I guess maybe a few punchers, but it wasn't enough. And now my dwarves begin climbing his buildings and pretty much destroying his warlocks, and then eventually breaking his buildings from the top. There you have it. Just put them on hold position, change to melee, and of course attack, move the buildings to destroy them. Meantime, the black player did send some archers to the middle, kill this base, and he's gonna be killing this whole base as well, because I don't really have much. So this is gonna be destroyed, but of course I'm gonna be trading that for the whole base of the black player. So there you have it. Most of the defenses of the black player are gone now. So he's pretty much dead. There's nothing he can do against this army. So he's going to be destroying this base. And potentially trying to harass me. In the meantime, the purple player is pretty much dead. Just has a few buildings. Even his waves spawned here, so orange is going to be munching on his goblins. But I guess he also has trouble. The goblins on top. You can see he lost a few cavaliers. This might even be the blue player's wave, not even sure. But there's another wave here. Here you can see black player is running in here to try and just be a nuisance. Because he knows he can't really do much at his main base. And so as we can see here, he's going to be eventually falling here. Because there's just too many dwarves. Too many apprentices. So, it's pretty much over for him. In the meantime, I did catch these munchers, slow them down, and destroyed all of them here. But of course, not before, losing quite a good amount of workers. So the black player surrenders. But of course I do kill his final building to get some extra gold. In the meantime, you can see orange has a huge army of cavaliers. Good amount of cannons. But that's pretty much it. He only has 2 apprentices. So there's more cavalier maxing here. The blue player is still alive. There's some munchers, got the rage ability, and some warriors. A few warlocks here. They're just being defensive. It's kind of hard for him to expand. And over here I see this army of the orange player. And I see this artillery, and so I do realize that I'm not going to be winning here. So I tried to retreat and get a better position. And so the orange player continues pushing through here. Here I try to break this farm here to get some better maneuverability here for my units. Here the orange player decides to attack me here. And this is more of a concave defense here. Which is going to be extremely in my favor. Because it's more efficient to have a concave surround of units than a Vex. So here, huge amount of my dwarves are just blasting through the cavaliers of the enemy. And the rest of my cavaliers are holding the other half of the army here. Well, most of my dwarves are doing all of the work. You can see the top of the army of orange got destroyed because there's just too many dwarves. And the bottom side held long enough for my reinforcing dwarves to finish the job. So somehow I had a smaller army, but I managed to just get a better positioning of my army to get very efficient fights here with my dwarf and cavalier combo. And so I pretty much lost very few units. But of course, orange does have a quite big economy. So he's going to be rebuilding his army somewhat quickly. And here I was thinking of continuing to the west here, trying to attack orange. But of course, the blue player came back for revenge here. And I tried to delay him here until my reinforcements arrived. So here he decides to retreat. Maybe they're realizing that was my whole army in my base, and there was way more coming. Over here, I begin attacking. And it begins fighting back. But of course you can see it's quite inefficient, my cavaliers here. These auto pockets just being destroyed by his units. So they tried to retreat a little bit to have better fights, so that my dwarves can be more involved here. Here I see this huge army of archers. So I'll be climbing my dwarves on top of these roofed buildings so that I can shoot down his archers from above. So you can see here, I shot him down and I decided to just destroy this barracks and this bastion and then try to run back home to try and save myself, because orange came back for revenge here. A huge amount of cannons. It's probably around like 10 of them or 12. So I had to kind of run my whole army in here, all the dwarves, to try and fight this. But of course, in the meantime, I rebuilt my bases in the middle just for them to be destroyed by a small group of cavaliers. Here I sent my dwarves to try and destroy these cannons. And of course, blue found a good opportunity to try and attack me as well. But of course, I did have to deal with orange first. But you can see here actually the dwarves taking quite a long time to die to these cannons. So they're quite a good counter to mass cannons. Because I think if swordsmen were fighting these cannons, they're going to be eventually blasted through. They're just going to melt. So dwarves are kind of very powerful in the late game if you get to get out of a level 3s or level 2s. So after destroying this whole army, I decide to go and attack the blue player. Because now the orange is not going to be attacking me anytime soon. So I'm going to have a clear path to the blue player's base. So he has very little gold, only one base. Orange only has 2 bases. Or I guess 1, because this one's running out. I only have a few stragglers here. Long distance mining. But I am eventually going to be getting quite a good amount of gold by killing blue here in these buildings. So I'm going to have enough gold for a town hall. So I'll begin attacking, but you can see it is quite inefficient. And I do lose quite a lot of cavaliers for free here, instead of fighting my whole army more effectively. But I do eventually get my units here to try and destroy this blue base. And so eventually the blue player is going to be falling here. I just focus down this town hall instead of climbing it. And so it's pretty much over for blue. And over here you can see the goblins begin spawning. 2 waves spawn here. 1 to kill orange, 1 to kill blue, and 1 to kill me here. So I did have to kind of run back home. Of course, I have fat dwarves. They're going to take quite forever to actually get back home. And so quite a few workers have to die before I'm able to save myself. So here I'm fighting these goblins, and orange is fighting a double wave. These goblins that killed the blue player eventually went in this direction. So he's going to be getting quite a huge amount of gold, which he can use to pump into his, I guess, army or production. I even lose barracks here, or 2 barracks here actually. So I'm back to 2 barracks in a single tavern. So I rebuilt 2 more barracks to try and get some kind of army production. Because I had a lot of dwarves, but not that many cavaliers. And I guess I only do have like 6 apprentices. Very few of them. I guess I just didn't really have much gold. I didn't get another castle, so double apprentice production. And of course here, after building my 2 barracks, I'm now going to be donating them to orange. So he decides to attack me here. And here I begin attacking to try and fight back. Try and split my forces. Try and push them forward. Try and surround the enemy. And of course to try and push my dwarves towards the cannons, so I can take care of them. But I guess this was quite a close fight. The enemy had a similar amount of units. I just had a few more dwarves, I guess. That barely tilted the battle into my favor and allowed me to break down the front line of the enemy, and to then eventually run down all these apprentices, and then eventually surround these cannons here. So there you have it. I have about 5 cavaliers, or 6 of them, and then maybe 20 or 15 dwarves. I guess roughly 7 apprentices. So it's a very tiny army, but I did manage to win. And here, the enemy tries to destroy my farms, but he probably didn't know I had so much more production. 2,000 food production. And now he actually had 1,000 food worth of amount of units here. So even if he killed a few farms, it wouldn't be much of a dent. So I eventually clean up these stragglers here. As he has a similar amount of supply as me. Even food production is very similar. But we can see here, most of his farms are filled of free workers. And so a little inefficient compared to me. Now most of my farms are just single worker farms, which means that the rest of my workers can go and actually gather some gold or wood for me. Here I started making more barracks, 2 more, so I can get my cavalier numbers back on the line. And of course I have this base, and I made this one on the bottom. Orange player Just trying to get a base bottom here. There's one here. Another one running out. There's a good handful of cavaliers. A good handful of cannons, maybe. Let's see. Roughly 11 of them here. But as we saw, my dwarves somehow managed to take care of all the cannons of the enemy, because we were just taking forever to die. But eventually, I do see they have much of an advantage, so I just decide to attack. I have a huge army of level 3 dwarves, so they're just going to be pretty much unstoppable at this point. So I begin doing my final assault against the enemy. His army is made out of level 1 cavaliers, handful of apprentices, and some cannons. Here I decide to focus this town hall. We stop this mining, but I guess that's sort of pointless. But anyways, I do send my dwarves here to try and surround these cannons, which was very successful here. And so now these cannons are going to be on. And at this point, my enemy decides to surrender, because that's pretty much most of his army there, and kind of ran out of gold, and the rest of his outside expansions. So there you have it. See the results. You can see here, mined quite a good amount of gold, but orange didn't mine way more than I did. Here you can see, made a similar amount of units, but I didn't manage to get a huge amount of kills. Probably because the black player and the blue player didn't surrender. So I did get quite a lot of kills by killing both of their bases. And of course by killing quite a good amount of units from the orange player. Here you can see orange did kill most of the goblins here, because he didn't get to kill double waves sometimes, so it can be somewhat in your favor to get the extra gold from those waves. Anyways, if you liked the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see more videos in the Scouring Early Access, then you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.